Saving money can seem impossible. It seems like every time you turn around, there's another temptation to spend your hard-earned cash. But it's not impossible, as long as you avoid these 10 common money-saving mistakes. If you can manage to sidestep these errors, then saving money will be a breeze. In this video, I'm going to share with you the 10 most common money-saving mistakes that people make. By avoiding these pitfalls, you'll be well on your way to financial success. But first, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future videos. Okay, let's get started. Number 1. No budget, no financial plan. The first money-saving mistake is not having a budget or financial plan. If you don't know where your money is going, then it's impossible to save any of it. You need to be aware of your spending patterns in order to change them. Creating a budget may seem like a daunting task, but there are plenty of resources to help you get started. Once you have a budget in place, it will be much easier to make room in your spending for savings. If you're not sure where to start, there are plenty of helpful budgeting apps and websites that can get you on the right track. The most important thing is to take that first step and create a budget that works for you. Number 2. Not tracking your spending. The second mistake is not tracking your spending. Just like you need to know where your money is going in order to save it, you also need to keep track of your spending in order to stick to your budget. There are a number of ways to track your spending, but one of the easiest is to use a budgeting app or website. These tools can help you see where your money is going and spot any areas where you may be able to cut back. Another helpful way to track your spending is to use cash instead of credit or debit cards. When you use cash, you are more aware of how much money you are actually spending. Lastly, make sure to keep all of your receipts and bank statements. This will make it easier to track your spending and spot any discrepancies. Number 3. Relying on credit cards. The third money-saving mistake is relying on credit cards. Credit cards can be a helpful tool if used correctly, but they can also lead to debt and financial problems. If you are going to use credit cards, make sure you pay off your balance in full each month. This will help you avoid interest charges and keep your debt under control. It's also important to only use your credit cards for purchases that you can afford. If you're not sure you can pay off your balance, it's better to use cash or a debit card. Lastly, make sure to keep track of your credit card spending so you don't get in over your head. While credit cards can be helpful, it's essential to use them wisely in order to avoid financial problems. Number 4. Not saving for retirement. Next on the list of money-saving mistakes is not saving for retirement. Retirement may seem like a long way off, but it's important to start saving now. The sooner you start, the more time your money has to grow. There are a number of retirement savings plans to choose from, so it's important to do some research and find one that best suits your needs. It's also important to start saving as early as possible. If you wait until you're closer to retirement, you may not have enough time to save enough money. Saving for retirement may seem like a difficult task, but it's important to start now in order to ensure a comfortable retirement. Number 5. Paying late fees. When it comes to saving money, one of the worst mistakes you can make is paying late fees. Late fees can add up quickly and eat into your savings. There are a few ways to avoid late fees. First, make sure you pay your bills on time. This may seem obvious, but it's important to remember. You can also set up automatic payments for your bills. This way, you'll never have to worry about forgetting to pay a bill on time. Lastly, if you do end up paying a late fee, make sure to budget for it in the future so you don't get caught off guard. Number 6. Making big purchases on impulse. If you want to save money, it's important to avoid making big purchases on impulse. Impulse buying can lead to buyer's remorse and financial problems. Before making any big purchase, take some time to think about it. Do you really need the item? Can you afford it? Will you use it often? Asking yourself these questions can help you avoid making impulse purchases that you'll regret later. It's also important to have a budget in place so you don't overspend. When you know how much money you have to spend, it's easier to stick to your budget and avoid impulse buying. The bottom line is that impulse buying can be costly, and it's important to avoid it if you want to save money. Number 7. Falling for get-rich-quick schemes. There are a lot of get-rich-quick schemes out there, and it can be tempting to fall for them. However, it's important to remember that if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Get-rich-quick schemes often involve investing money in risky ventures or taking on a lot of debt. These risks can lead to financial problems down the road. So, if you're looking to make some quick money, be cautious and don't fall for a get-rich-quick scheme. There are plenty of legitimate ways to make money, but get-rich-quick schemes are not one of them. So, be careful and don't let yourself be scammed. Whenever you're thinking about investing in something, please do your research and talk to a financial advisor to make sure it's a good idea. Number 8. Keeping up with the Joneses. 8 on the list of things that can ruin your finances is keeping up with the Joneses. It's easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to others and wanting what they have. But keep in mind that everyone's financial situation is different. Just because someone has a nicer car or a bigger house doesn't mean they are better off financially. Comparing yourself to others can lead to financial problems. If you start spending beyond your means in an attempt to keep up, it's important to be content with what you have and not try to keep up with the Joneses. Their financial situation is not your concern, and it's not worth ruining your own finances trying to match them. So, next time you're tempted to keep up with the Joneses, remember that it's not worth it, and it can ruin your finances. Number 9. Not negotiating prices. Whenever you make a purchase, it's important to try to negotiate the price. You'd be surprised how often you can get a discount just by asking. Whether you're buying a car or a piece of furniture, always try to negotiate the price. You may not always succeed, but it's always worth trying. Not negotiating prices can lead to overspending and financial problems down the road. So, next time you make a purchase, don't be afraid to try to negotiate the price. It could save you a lot of money in the long run. Number 10. Ignoring your savings goals. If you want to save money, you need to have savings goals in place. Without savings goals, it's easy to spend your money without thinking about the future. Savings goals can help you stay on track and make sure you're putting enough money away for your future. It's important to review your savings goals regularly and make sure you're on track. If you're not, it's time to make some changes. Ignoring your savings goals can ruin your finances and prevent you from reaching your financial goals. So, make sure you're always aware of your savings goals and stay on track. Saving money is important, but it's not always easy. There are a lot of things that can ruin your finances if you're not careful. But if you're aware of the potential pitfalls, you can avoid them and stay on track with your finances. Just remember always to be mindful of your spending, create a budget, and stick to your savings goals. Do all of this, and you'll be on your way to financial success.